For some for Francis Akwani. Francis Akwani dia na o my Ghana back when OGB for short. Abusia ene ye share mo ewa ha ene obetwetwe ankomo. Ene asempitra eno ti ye betwe ankomo no say arise Africa. Arise Africa. Na because say ye ne Ghana fo nti no ye ben narrow no down. Say na ene da edikan a wo hwe ye video ya ba bia wo a wada wo mahwese o na subscribe e ma ye. Wo subscribe ye channel no wi a like a video no na comment we nso a share na afoforo anya bi tie na omunya bi so enhwe odema ko no onhira na obo ho ban afi 2022 yi mo e ma de wo ye bia no enye nhira dadi bia wo bia de nhira bro all the way from the United States of America OGB my Ghana baako our motto is what saving the next generation ebusia ene ye ko akotie asɛmbi ewo abayewa bi ho ya wo free Kenya na me mfa ne din no ento dwansa ewie a me ne din no atoda asɛm wey akɔso abra ye Young African Summit that was last year mu and was na ye kan na French and as a France president etewo Macron na yes ma abayewa yi sɛ ɔmra na ɔbɛma speech na nsɛm a ɔkaeɛ no ye betie nsɛm no bi na nsɛm no mo dwumi nua kyɛ waso yi na fe utie nsɛm wie nso a wada wo ma bɔ mmɔde ne sɛ wobɛfa bibia de ade afiri mu na de mede nka de ahyɛ wase kwa sa na ɛkɔ video ne sɛ ɛwɔ sɛ Africa yenya agodro the spirit of cowardice and timidity inferiority complex are crushing Africa for your dreams. When we say obeti Ghana sometimes and nyama ori na ne environment ɛwɔ influence woni paso ntino wontimi enwene enko ba bi ɛwɔ sɛ koye even though religion tribalism ethnicity political ama enipa ntimi enwene because sometimes you know and then the way we have been taught ma ya gyina no adwene ko ade kete but some of you want me person me se ofri Kenya ye wie video na be de betu da abusua yentie asɛm a awurai anase abawa we eka kire French mampani no enya French mampani kake if you say France omo yomania Africa colonization wamu any Britain aprofo wamu na ebeji Africa nyina afa now the America when say I'm not saying this say obi nko hiti aprofo ne asie no asie bi there's nothing we can do in our past but the future is always bright that we can always do something to make an amends. And there was something I'm looking because OGB, you want to say we are saving the next generation. Meaning, maybe a better video is a young person. What you have on it, and as I'm on the about was so a common me. And someone a common monster if you say, you think I want to there's a big or huge gap between you and you, I am on and one more can. But so we youth and a woman on here, the messenger said, so there be a nya. But she, Eddie, I was so 20 years. So where other languages there, India for Pakistan, Japan, China, other a for no, Omuko Chiapua. If you man Kwande, a better one, and the tear by the map of Valentino, none of finish. But OGB, we are bringing this life on the screen to say, a brother say, I will fire a time on the Yabeka, man. I will fire Ghana. Obroni say 30 begins at home. Yen say your man. Here about Asasia or the Markman or the other way. But John my Korea video yamra. Na yeba OGB so I be reacting. Thank you.
Bonjour, je m'appelle
Hello,
Adele Onyango.
I'm Adele
Je viens
Onyango,
du Kenya.
and I come from Kenya.
And that is exactly as far as my French will take me. So, I'm really honored and happy to be here today because I think it is no secret that the current relationship between Africa and France is complicated. And in order for us to build a relationship that addresses issues that affect not only Africa, not only France, but the globe, then it's important for us to interrogate this very complicated relationship and ask ourselves three things. One, what is not efficient? Two, what is not ethical? Three, where do we see integrity gaps? And to be able to do these three things, we're going to have to be brutally honest. The history of colonization is understandably very important. For Africa, it's a past that is as painful as it is destructive. And the effects of colonization can still be felt to date. And I'm not just saying economically, but even on an interpersonal level. We, as Africans, feel the pain of colonization every single day. Now, the lack of a clear and strong acknowledgement of the continent's pain on this destructive past results in skepticism. And the absence of actions that will further push the acknowledgement is also a major issue in the current France and Africa relationship. In fact, the air of denial that France chooses to sit in is uncomfortable, not only for Africa, but also for France. And it does no good for either one of us. How can you trust the source of your pain when the source doesn't acknowledge it? What we end up with is skepticism on what exactly does France stand for. And so we ask you, Mr. President, how strong can a relationship that is built on pain, that is built on skepticism, and that is built on lack of trust really be? We, not just as a team here, but all of us in this room, and the 5,000 who helped with the report, and the millions more on the continent and off of the continent, want a commitment from you, Mr. President, that you will join us in the eradication of La France-Afrique, which is a very unfair dominance, and it has to end. Furthermore, the breakdown in understanding what France fully stands for is fueled by the continued collaborations that France has with agencies, leaders, and individuals who have glaring integrity issues, whilst on the other hand, claiming to be standing for human rights. So on one hand, we have France that is entrenched in issues around racism, around exploitative dominance, and whilst on the other hand, they're still claiming to teach others about democracy. These are two profiles that one cannot fill at the same time. And when you try to do that, we find it rather arrogant. What it creates is a cognitive dissonance, which is that discomfort you feel because of these two conflicting values. It not only doesn't make sense, it is unsustainable, it births a negative perception, and an ambiguity in knowing once again what values does France stand for. Now, it is very clear, because we are all here, that the current relationship is imbalanced. It's not collaborative, and in some instances, it's exploitative. We have social impact solutions built without any input from relevant African civil society organizations who are a resource when it comes to really understanding problems on the ground and creating solutions that run efficiently. And they're a resource that Africa is willing to lend to France. Let's also not forget that whilst we in this room are here because we want to change and repair this relationship, there are some who are benefiting from this current dysfunctional relationship, be it private businesses from France on the continent with non-ethical practices, or corrupt individuals and groups from both France and Africa. This group, and the lack of a very loud and public condemnation of this, obviously fuels skepticism. So this honest interrogation is a very important first step, because the strengths and weaknesses of this current relationship will dictate the success or failure of our collective future relationships. But we are not only telling you what's not working. We are very solution-driven, which is much unlike the heads of states that you're used to me saying. We know exactly what you need to commit to today, and we have a clear path on how we can achieve that. And that is what my brother Arthur will share with you. Arthur, c'est à toi. Thank you.
Wow. 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 Look. Abayo ya Kasai. The friend Adele Onyango. Or ye journalist El Kenya. And nipa utre speech na mano. Asam no okikaye no. Tobwase minim se video way old video. A security. Ade ba kwa na high en Ghana for ne se. Wo ye hunu video bi a hunu pe no. Wo se we de me hunu pe. And some you have to listen to it over and over and over to gain a very deep understanding. Omampani pie ni African continent here. Obetime make this speech here. I be make. I'm telling you. We'll share the beginning of the message. Now, we'll see. We have to be brutally honest and quote. A fair day, Jamfuno Afropete. A fair day, and so after opportunity to whatever. All say, this is a young person. A young people, your friend is saying, one generation, young people summit, and a French president, Nkobi. As some of the central point I walk in another year, be a far slavery, and Yama and Kwasum and I Kwato and play Africa. Now, Okabi be a person. I just want to reiterate on what she said. Say, how can you acknowledge or how can you not deny the source of the pain of group of people? Now, after source, you want to or more course they can't trust that aspect. Abrafo be dey so they know say ade o mabe no na de bia na bi sa ni patuntum se enti wote ase e na woni obi abeka kire wo se wona na bi etena ase edan a wo se ye ni ne japade ni wa ya well ede wo din ato so na woni pass me se atena well no so se kwa bia so ontumi yeti wontumi obi antumi emeje ade ni efri ni sam legitimately na ade no enya ne dia me wotie me na wo he me. So what you are to say? What will you be your reaction? There be a because you are now. My main quote was in the view. When the phobia the car was say, we listen to respond, and we don't listen to understand. So what you are to say? No, people listen for listening sake. Why would we not more share video? No? And then they fold their arms and don't do anything. Ghana for, especially Ghana for, it was these days. And probably others on WhatsApp. So videos on Kuma. And yet the very people know about sending some video, no? They just listen, they don't do anything. Most of them tend out to point their fingers on other people. Listen. When you listen to a speech like this, What you do after you have listened is what matters most. And then the other side, Yakoma Opino. Ghana for because actually Ghana for both home and abroad. If we say OGB mission, we say we are here to unite all Ghanaians, both home and abroad. Your mission is saving the next generation. And you may be able to create actually. About way, may 100% sure. Say we're studying the history about a woman, a sorry in their time. That would be the Ayisu Amaware. Or baby to say, Yania this year, Yasantua. Or bit to say, Theodosia Oko, Harriet Tubman, Arikana, Chibori Kwam, and then Maya Angelou. Now the federal court today, and on afraid she piggybacked on that. Maya Angelou, was say, people can forget what you say to them. People can forget what you do to them. But the people will never forget how you made them feel. Feelings. Psychology more emotions. Almost says, Obey your dear power, we are by an idea a cow. For example, will be a shoe and it's to palm when it's why when it's why white. You will never live to forget. Ebusia, Yamil cannot be the Massimo as some of can say Africans are solution driven. Into French, Mampenino, whatever, or culture say, and never go out when they are right in their face. You Africa for Kai. Now we are looking forward to say, you make my collaboration as a Sanyama. French for Africa for, or my Jamkasa, or my Jamsica, the Pia near Africa, a watch Anglophone, Francophone. Take piano, we are us. A typical example, Cameroon. Part to be a Cameroon, part to be a French. Oko Gambia and Senegal. They are more Gambia 40 or more because English is for no baby and not French for no baby and no tea, but they couldn't have pepe. Gambia in your price. Ebusia. When I could be a buyer from Omega, OGB for short. Ye preaches a better to say, Yabeka and White Ediabo. Say this young people is Africa is rising up. Now a bread is a Ghana for rising up. Now we say pressure group has started with Ghana. Now the OGB agenda is not supposed to dethrone or overthrow any political party. And I say it again, because we are non-political, we are non-religious, and we are non-ethnic group. We are fire for those things. Yet the answer, communal labor approach. Your message in no period. Where I say www.omeganaback1.org. Go register. Never join equal to say. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. What am I going to shout? OGB saving the next generation. Peace out.
It is OGB's humble opinion that we come together as one people to fix what is broken by ourselves instead of always relying on our leaders to do everything for us. This effort will provide lasting solution and eventually eradicate most of our problems. Thanks for watching.
Fuma